Bring him out, bring him out. Oh, rawr, dinosaur. Hello? Ooh, Hello, magical makers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're checking in. I have to check in because I have all these WIPs that I am trying to complete in a 3 months time span. And like last week, this has been a pretty busy week. I have a lot of great things to share with you today. Pulling up my schedule. I actually had to catch myself up on my schedule because I spent a couple days not really writing things down, so then I had to play the whole memory game, and we all know how that goes. It doesn't always go smoothly. So this week, from the 15th until the 22nd, I was able to work on the I-cords, I was able to work on the backpack, I was able to work on the monkey, and that's it. 3 things I worked on. Now, like I said in the last video, we have canceled the evergreen tunic, RIP that project, because I was a dodo brain when it came to selecting my yarn for that project. So that ended up being the demise of one of my WIPs. Because I was productive though in other ways, last week I was able to fasten off my muckluck. So those 2 projects are out of the game. So we went from 9 to 7, and now this week we are down to 5, and it is very, very exciting that we are down to 5. So I'm going to share those with you today. What did I fasten off? What am I still working on? And we're going to see exactly how disciplined I was in week 3 of my WIP tail. So because I want to end on like a really high note with the fasten offs, we're going to start with what I made progress on. Now, this was a week where I did not work on my temperature blanket. I kind of vaguely mentioned thinking about not working on my temperature blanket in the last check-in, and I thought about it overnight and I said, you know what, I think that's a good idea. I have made so much progress on the temperature blanket and I have worked really hard on it, getting back into it, falling back in love with it. It's not like I don't want to work on it, but I think it's better to put it aside for a second when I still have a good relationship with it. And giving myself the reward of, okay, I'm not going to work on it this week. I'm going to work on other things and focus my energy over to the place where I need to finish things. So that is what I did. I left the temperature blanket in the back room, didn't look at it, didn't touch it. Because I did that, and because I got my act together, I was able to fasten off 2 projects. But the thing that I did make progress on was, and we'll add these together to the bag, I worked on I-cords. So these are all the I-cords that I made. And it really probably doesn't even look like that much, but again, like I've said in my last video, these are the things that I work on when I am at my computer and I don't want to scroll on my phone, but I am, you know, taking my time to go through my video clips that I'm editing and waiting for my computer to do its thing, because sometimes it takes a little bit longer than I want it to because it is a machine, it is not magic. So I take the time while I'm at the computer and I work on my I-cords. So that is what I did. This is probably the longest one that I did. This was actually from like a scrappy cake that I did of these neon yarns. I mean, this looks like the magician's ribbon, you know. And I really love this one. This is a super long one, so that'll be really fun. I'm going to take all of these and I'm going to add them to my bag of I-cords, and this is where I'm going to be collecting them for now. Once this bag is all worked up and all the yarn that was in here is worked into an I-cord, I will then go ahead and sort them into like yarn weight categories, because from the past where I worked on an I-cord project and I was crocheting the I-cord into another, as you saw, I made like a mat for my cat's food and water to sit on in my kitchen. My hands were killing me because I was going from thick to thin with the different varying scrappy I-cords, and it was totally painful. So I'm gonna avoid that pain in the future by, once these are all finished, sorting through and putting them in a respective density category, so that way I can have an easier and more enjoyable time working with these I-cords. So we are in the bag, we are good to go, and once I have another handful, I will throw them in. So that was a quick update. This was just what I got done on the I-cords. So we're gonna move into the fasten-offs, and this is gonna be a very quick check-in because since I put more energy into finishing things this week, I don't have much to share with where I went on a bunch of different things progress-wise, because I just don't. First things first, the one that I should have finished in the last check-in, the toddler tether backpack. Ta-da! It's looking much more complete than the last time. This time around, like I said, I added a little I-cord here. The straps are attached and finished. We got that great elastic setting in the back, so that way it has a stretch and retract type of deal. I did add the tether. This time I did change something with the tether. Normally I do kind of like a glue situation, like I fold it over once over this swivel hook and then I glue it down and then I sew it down around the glue, and that's always a pain in the butt and it doesn't really help in the long run anyway. So I stopped doing that and I completely changed how I wrap the tether part around itself. We're gonna call this webbing. I believe that's the correct term. The way I handled the webbing was much different. I'm very proud of myself. I feel like this was like an origami moment and I very much like found a folding routine for that finishing look. I did the same treatment with the webbing and the hot glue situation on this end. Now, this should not come apart. This is Gorilla Glue, Gorilla Hot Glue, the brand Gorilla Glue, and this is very sturdy. I mean, my son would have to be an absolute tank to cause this to like explode and rip apart. So I don't think that's gonna happen, but I'm very, very proud of it. And then that was the little loop that I had on the bottom that I said I would attach. This, I made this a little bit longer. I will say though, this is my second time using a zipper like this, and I thought this would kind of relax over time, but there's still quite a bit of rippling in the finish attachment of the zipper, and I don't love that. And I think that's because in the past my best results were with these sports zippers that have a bigger pull tab and everything. I don't know if it's just the material in the base of the zipper itself, I don't know, but it's fine once it's open. I think it's just once it's together, maybe the arc of the bag just makes it a little crazy. And then I finished this off by adding a sweet little patch on the front that literally is the same colors, so it doesn't make your eyes go like, ew, what is that on the bag? And I love that. I love the little dinosaur. Now, here's the thing with this bag. I'm saying that it's fastened off because I have no idea where the buckle is. The straps are not complete without the center buckle. And I don't know what happened to the buckle. I actually have a sneaking suspicion it's in my husband's truck. And the last time it was in it, actually the last time I talked about myself having passenger princess privileges, and I brought everything in the trunk, it might have fallen into one of the pockets on the side. So I think that that is where the buckle went. If I can make a prediction, I will probably go searching for it tomorrow because I really am bothered that this is not 100% done. It is 96% done. The buckle does take some time because you got to crochet through this part, and then you have to leave a long tail, and then you got to sew that, use that long tail to sew the buckle sides on. So there's just that last step to be done, but I consider this to be fastened off because actually I tried it on my son and he loves it. He was wearing it around the house and he didn't take it off. So I could technically let him wear this. Probably just as like a fun bag for him to wear. I'm not going to use the tether part, maybe just hold his hand. But until I find the buckle, I'm just going to consider this done. The victories though are that this new technique that I was doing where I did like a thermal stitch to give myself a double walled beginning to the strap, I like that I did that, and that the ribbing doesn't start until probably about this part of his body, like his lower ribs. So I think that was a good idea because all the motion happens in there, but like this part coming out of the backpack, It's really just to anchor it. So I'm really glad that I made that adjustment. I think it looks cleaner. I think it kind of like blends in with the bag more as we see this. So super happy with this. I think this final look is how it's going to be for the pattern. My dream for this is that this is a mommy and me project. So you make the one for your toddler, right? And then for you as a mommy, you make a mini backpack, but it's like slightly bigger. But I definitely would like to make this a mommy and me pattern. This is fastened off as of today, and this is now bringing our WIP count from 7 to 6. Super exciting. Little toddler tether backpack. The next WIP that was fastened off, bringing our WIP count from 6 to 5, is the monkey. The monkey. We love the monkey. Oh, I hope you guys are ready for this. It's cute. It's really cute. I mean, that's why I wore pink today, because I wanted to match the monkey. I did. I wanted to match the monkey. Now, I left the vlog, the last vlog check-in, telling you that I did this probably a month back, and the reason that I hadn't started working on it again wasn't because I didn't want to, but because I had to order more of this fur yarn. It was from Knit Picks, and that is just the joy of buying yarn online as opposed to buying it in the store. You can have this beautiful range of products. You can buy things in like any color, like pink fur, but then if you run out and lose at Yarn Chicken, which I did horribly, you're not able to get the yarn in until the yarn company is ready to send it in. I was on pause with this project simply for a fact of not having the supplies that I needed. And after I finished that last vlog, I walked my happy butt to the mailbox, and guess what was in the mailbox? The package of yarn that I had been waiting for. Apparently it had been there for 2 days. I don't know why I didn't think to like check, like I was just assuming that it was gonna arrive to the front door. No, it was in the mailbox. I was excited, I grabbed it, I ripped it open immediately, and I just checked the quality. All the yarn was perfect. I checked the color to make sure that it was at least close enough to where it wouldn't destroy my yarn color loving heart. And the colors were great, perfectly matched, super happy. So literally the next day, I finished all the pieces, and then the day after that, I fastened it off. I put all the pieces together and I fastened it off, and I'm so happy with the results. I'm so happy. I even did this little happy bow. She's got a little bow here. Do you see her bow? It's made with fingering weight yarn, sock yarn, that I have in my knitting stash that I pull out every now and then for details like this. I somehow had this lovely color changing yarn that mimicked the colors in the face and the ears and the hands, that somehow was like the more saturated version of this yarn. It was just total luck. And when I saw it in my stash, I was like, oh, I have to use that. I have to use that. This monkey is so great because it's definitely gender neutral. Like you can make it with the bow or without the bow. And in fact, let me show you its friend. On the side, this was not a part of the WIP project, but on the side I was working on trying to make this in like a lighter weight just to see like the size difference. Look at the size difference. I mean, golly, this is double this, and it's just wild. This is made with a chenille like medium weight yarn, but it's medium weight. It's really a 3 weight, and I did use a 3 weight like a cotton based yarn for the face, the ears, and the hands. But I have to say, and you guys can totally leave me all the comments and feedback in the comment section below. I am totally open to this. I don't know if I love it like this. I don't know, it just has a different vibe. The fur is everything to me, and the fur is the reason why I started this project. And actually, I have the original inspiration right here. Let me bring him out. Let me bring him out. The original inspiration for this project was my son's favorite monkey. This is Mono. This is my son's favorite stuffed animal. We love him. We got him at a zoo in my in-laws' hometown, and he's one of those monkeys to where you can wrap his arms around your neck and snap them, and then you got yourself a little hanging friend, and he hangs with you all day. He's pretty cool, and my son loves that fact. And ever since we got him, I always thought in my head, man, I need to figure out if I can make a crochet version of this kind of monkey so that I can maybe make him a new friend one day if we ever did lose him, or if he just wanted like another buddy, I don't know. So that was why I started working on this. Now, I've made a couple of versions of this, but I wanted to test this fur yarn out to see how it would do with my pattern that I've already kind of started drafting and testing on my own, just like my prototypes, and it worked out really well. So that was why I had started this in the first place. I don't know if I've even mentioned that in the original WIP video, but the reason I got this going was because I know that this works well in the Hobby Lobby fur yarn, and I know this works well blanket yarn. It's not as cute in blanket yarn, if I can be honest. I think I just prefer, sorry Mona, I'm gonna let you have a break now. Thanks so much for hanging out. This works up okay in the blanket yarn. I'm just not a huge fan of the blanket yarn, so that's why I decided to go with the other types of fur yarn. And the fur yarn from Knit Picks is great. The only downside to it, as we can see from getting off the ground with this, is that you only get like 64, 65 yards in a skein. And I kind of think that's a little low. Like, I would rather them give me a full 150 yards. Like, give me a big, like, what's wrong with giving me like a blanket yarn sized skein and just charging more? I'm okay with paying for more. I don't know. I could talk on and on about that, but she's finished. She is so cute. I do have a name for this pattern, but I'm not going to say it yet because I just want to make sure that it stays a little, like, there's a little bit like, oh, you know, reveal later when I do make this into a full-blown pattern. This will probably be my first amigurumi pattern of the year. I am just overjoyed that this is finished, my fasten off. And it happened so quickly because I really love it, and it's so cute, and I'm so passionate about it. I really like you. You're cute. That's it. Yeah, that's what I got done with this week. So this week, I got some progress on the I-cords. I got the toddler backpack, and I got the monkey done. Yay! All right, magic makers, thank you for joining me today on my magical WIP tail check-in. With that being said, all of those things that I've completed this week, I am so grateful to have said I can fasten off 2 projects. We are now down to 5 WIPs. I have to deal with that sunburst granny square bag. I'm gonna go back onto the temperature blanket momentum, and I do have to work on those rabbits, but the rabbits are gonna take the #1 spot for things I need to get done. So here's to hoping that next week I am done with the rabbits so that I can get them shipped off. Rabbits are #1. I need to start on the sunburst granny square bag because I have done nothing with that. I should pick the dragon back up just for a bit. Maybe I'll finish the head. Maybe I'll finish the wings or the horns or something. Something needs to get done with the dragon so that I can say I've started it. So wish me luck, because now that I have 2 things fastened off, I cannot lose this momentum. I need to do just as well next week as I did this week. If you've liked this video today, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more yarny vlogs. I do have tutorials coming, but the reason we're doing these vlogs right now is because I'm motivating myself to push past my projects so that I have room mentally for the things that I know you have been asking for. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a creative day adding magic to your stitches in your own way, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! No. So excited. Yay me! So he's a trained toddler now. This is tiny. Yay me. Fastest check-in I have ever done.